Hello and welcome to the Import-Export Hub channel. Your host Bogdan here. And guys, without further ado, allow me in the next couple of minutes to recommend you 5 products that are worth importing from Mexico, or I don't know, if you're a Mexican exporter, to export from Mexico. And let's start with my first recommendation, which are seats, whether or not convertible into beds, and parts thereof, excluding the ones for medical or veterinary purposes. And we see here that overall the exports from this category of products were close to $5.2 billion in 2020, which is 16% less than the figures from 2019, with the United States, Canada, and China being the top 3 export destinations. But I don't know, we have others like Brazil, Germany, South Africa, or the Czech Republic, just to name a few from these top 10 trading partners. As for the year-on-year changes, well, the pandemic affected the demand and consequently the exports from this category. And we see a lot of red, meaning a decrease in the exports compared with those from 2019, except with the exports towards China, who grew with more than $9 million in absolute terms, and the exports towards Germany, who, okay, grew insignificantly, but nonetheless grew, again, just limiting myself at these top 10 trading partners. As for the main drivers here from this category for both the United States and China, we have HS code 940190, so parts of seats not else specified. And guys, with this being said, I think I can move on to my next recommendation, which is an entire chapter, in fact, related to fresh strawberries, raspberries, and other berries. So chapter 0810. And we see that Mexico's exports from 2016 onwards are growing steadily, bringing the total exports in 2020 to almost $1.3 billion. And again, we see that the United States is the biggest trading partner with more than 95% share in Mexico's total exports from this category, which is very, very high in terms of export concentration, if you ask me. The second biggest trading partner for 2020 is Japan, and the third most important one is the United Kingdom, with close to $9 million worth of imports from Mexico. On aggregate, we see that the exports grew with more or less 9% compared with the exports from 2019. And I really think that this specific chapter is not that volatile in terms of demand. So for sure, Mexican growers and exporters can expect bigger export values in the years to come if they manage to, I don't know, increase the supply. And I think that there is a great prospect for the Mexican exporters to grow the volumes towards countries like the United Kingdom, Canada, or Germany. It's just a thought. Again, I don't know, I might be wrong. But anyways, in terms of year-on-year changes, except with the Russian Federation, the United Kingdom, and Italy, with the rest of the trading partners, there are positive changes, I don't know, ranging from 1.78%, as in the case with the United Arab Emirates, to almost 83%, as in the case with Germany here. As for the main drivers, we have fresh cranberries driving most of Mexico's exports towards Japan, and fresh raspberries driving most of Mexico's exports towards Germany. Now, moving on to my third product recommendation, which is coming from chapter 0709, so other vegetables, fresh or chilled. And we see that also this chapter saw quite a big increase, almost 11% on aggregate in relative terms, bringing the total exports to almost $3 billion, again with the United States as the main trading partner, followed by Japan, and we have Canada the third most important one. And we see here that the total number of countries to whom Mexico is exporting is quite limited, so not that many trading partners. And guys, besides the huge export market concentration again that we see towards the United States, what strikes me is the export trend, if you want, towards Japan from the last couple of years. And I think that for the Mexican exporters, Japan is a really important market, both in terms of value and why not markup. And from my point of view, I would struggle as much as I can in order to keep and grow, if possible, this market. But why not? Also, I think that the Canadian one has a lot of potential. And honestly, if I were a Mexican exporter, my focus would be only on these three markets, so the United States, Japan, and Canada. As for the spikes with Germany in 2017 and the United Kingdom in 2019, so the ones highlighted in yellow here, well, I think that those were one-time contracts or something similar that won't come anytime soon, and exporters in general need stability and predictability, and sadly I don't see Germany or the United Kingdom confer these criteria, if you want, and that's why I wouldn't consider these countries as potential countries to grow the exports. As for the main drivers here, both for Japan and Canada, we have HS code 709600, so fresh or chilled fruits from the Capsicum or Pimenta genus. And with this being said, I'll move on to my fourth recommendation. And we move away from the fruits and vegetable register, if you want, to the furniture one. And we see that for 2020, the total exports shrunk with only 0.3%, bringing the total exports to more than $1.4 billion, which for this sector, if you ask me, is quite impressive, as I would have expected, I don't know, a larger decrease in terms of exports. Frankly, I don't see Mexico as an important player in the furniture industry because let's face it, $1.4 billion, it's impressive, but not that impressive when you compare with the figures of, I don't know, Italy, Turkey, Poland, or Vietnam. Personally, I think that what we see here, at least with the exports towards the United States, which are the most important ones, well, I think we're talking about some kind of light manufacturing or light processing, if you want, that, I don't know, small and medium furniture importers and retailers from the United States are doing in Mexico, and then, of course, they import the finished product. Or maybe another export driver which just came now in my mind could be related to, I don't know, specific Mexican design furniture, which can also drive partially these exports from this category. Anyways, in terms of the main drivers, we have HS code 940360, so wooden furniture, as in the case with the United States, and metal furniture, as in the case with the exports towards Guatemala. And guys, bear with me a little bit more as I'll finish with my fifth and last recommendation, which are perfumes and toilet waters. And here, although from 2018 onwards the trend is somehow downwards, I still think there is a lot of potential, especially for the exports towards Spanish-speaking countries. And in fact, we see that except the United States and Italy, with the rest of the countries, the exports are clustered around the Spanish-speaking countries. Again, limiting myself to the top 10 trading partners. And guys, by all means, I don't want to say that there is a positive correlation between Spanish-speaking countries and Mexico's exports from this category. But I think that there is a strong positive correlation with the exports towards countries whose, I don't know, population don't afford high-end luxury perfumes coming from, I don't know, Italy or France. So basically, I think that the price is the main driver here. Anyways, perfumes and toilet waters are discretionary goods, and of course, in times of crisis, these are less resilient, and almost always this category of goods is the most affected when the crisis hits. And the 30% drop that we see here in Mexico's exports is somehow underlining this economic theory. Now, in terms of the most important trading partners, we have the United States on the first place, which is followed by Guatemala with more than $20 million worth of imports from Mexico. And on the third place, we have El Salvador with more than $7 million worth of imports. As for the main drivers, both for the United States and El Salvador, HS code 330300 is the main export driver. And guys, one last thing before I finish this video, and I want to cover, which is about, I think, from my point of view, the great export potential for the perfumes originating from Mexico towards El Salvador and Argentina, as I really think that these two particular markets can grow in importance in the years to come. And guys, with this being said, my time is up. Thank you all for watching. I really hope that I've managed to provide you with some useful information. Don't forget to comment in the section down below, and I will highly appreciate if you hit the like and the subscribe buttons. As usual, until next time, keep your business safe. Thanks.